It's only gonna get worse, guys. This is the real trailer for the third episode of Starfleet Academy that I took a still of. You can't make this stuff up, and this is pretty funny. I posted it over on the community tab, and this is where we'll start today. Now, we knew that Starfleet Academy was going to be the wokest of the woke, the lamest of the lame, and the gayest of the gay. And that's exactly what is coming forward in Alex Kurtzman's Star Trek. Now, when I first watched the first episode, I watched it, and because my expectations were so far in the gutter, I thought, okay, this was actually watchable if I turn my brain off and don't think about all the errors in the background, and just look at it as a popcorn thing. And I rated it, like a 7 out of 10 for the first episode. And I told my wife at the time, I said, there really wasn't anything LGBTQ whatever nonsense in it. So it wasn't as woke as I was expecting. And she just looked at me and said, yet. And then she told me, you know how they do these things? They wait until like the third, fourth episode to start unveiling all the woke stuff. And sure enough, that's exactly what's now happening. We are going to see this coming up, and it's being revealed in interviews with the actors, and it's worse than we thought. Well, maybe as bad as we thought. Crazy. Let's get into the news in just a moment. Now, I promised and made a tease a little over a week ago that, I could do Starfleet Academy better than they could. And I said 7 days ago, I said, I'm tempted to just write this better than Kurtzman and Company. And I made a little image of a book cover in Nano Banana real quick to show how I could do this. Now, I got such good response, I decided to do it. I'm about 20% through writing this, guys. I'm working my tail off like day and night on this, and it's amazing. I really love. I've actually sent it to a professional editor who's working with me on it, who actually was nominated for Hugo Awards back in the day before that went crazy, and really amazing stuff, and it's really, really good, and I can't wait for this to go forward. So what I want you to do is sign up for my newsletter, because I never know if I'm going to find you again. I'm working my hardest to try to get this done maybe by next Thursday, or maybe the Thursday after that if I have to do extensive editing. I'm not sure yet. But somewhere in there, so while Starfleet Academy is going on, we can actually have a real alternative out there. And the reason I really went forward is obviously your encouragement's amazing. But Robert Picardo also did the same thing. Like, if you don't like it, why not just make your own? And so I'm like, okay, let's do it. And so we'll see. Did I do Starfleet Academy or Spacefleet Academy better than Kurtzman and Company? You can check it out. So you get 3 free books for signing up. It's in the description below. Like I said, it'll be soon. I'm not exactly sure when, but I want you to be here so that you don't miss it, because this is going to be amazing. And of course, the reaction from the Picardos of the world, are they going to support my independent art? They're not. It's going to be funny. So let's check this out. And thank you guys so much for supporting independent art. That's really important here. I don't just complain. I kind of am an author first and do things different. And that's why we're here. And I appreciate everybody who understands that. We have the smartest audience on the entire internet here. And I appreciate you guys being here. So this is what we now have. Starfleet Academy goes full woke as the stars reveal the obese jem'hadar is in a disordered relationship with the butch lesbian professor. Yes, Tig Notaro, or Jet Reno, or whatever her character is in a lesbian relationship with the jem'hadar woman who shouldn't exist, right? So it's like, oh gosh. Now I'm wondering if these female jem'hadar are lesbians. On top of how do they reproduce? They're really not explaining how this all works, but oh gosh, this gets pretty ugly. And this is the shoe that we expected to drop with Starfleet Academy. It is going to be a woke nightmare. They really haven't gone mask off with it yet. And this is how they do things in all the shows these days. They don't just put it in episode 1. In episode 1, they tried to make it an action adventure to kind of lure you into it and go, yeah, it wasn't that bad, right? And that's exactly my reaction. Episode 2, they kind of went mask off for what the show's going to be, which is like, a bad Saved by the Bell comedy in space, and a bunch of like romance drama of interracial relationships that just don't make sense and are very, very boring. And that was episode 2. Episode 3, we're now going to get a bunch of naked dudes being teleported places because they're doing pranks. Shenanigans is what they say. And they're using more of that modern Joss Whedon dialogue that doesn't fit into Star Trek whatsoever. And it is Joss Whedon dialogue. This all comes from Buffy as a writing sort of thing. If you trace it back, it comes from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and all that teenage quipping that Hollywood found that to be so cute and so quirky and so fun, and so they try to place that into everything now, whether it makes sense or not. And it's been that way for a long, long time. It's really just a copy paste of that, and that's why it doesn't feel like Star Trek in a nutshell. But it is going to also push this agenda. Now, we know from the early reviews that were sent out to the shill reviews that in episode 4, it's going to go very, very heavy-handed with the political elements of things. And they're cheering that on. In the shill media, the leftist media, they're cheering that on, so you know it's going to be something that's very, very eye-rolly. And this is also going to be developing as well, as these actors are talking about in their interviews and bragging about it. Now, I'm sure that they in their bubble think that this is a selling point for the show, that you're going to have this. But we kind of assume that. And when they introduced Jet Reno in Discovery, it was like, oh gosh, now I have to listen to this lesbian lady going back and forth and quipping with the gay doctor, or the gay science guy rather, over and over and over again. It was painful. But they didn't show her slobbering over some other chick in that show. That was just the dudes doing it in Discovery. And so it was like, okay, at least they didn't do another one. Now, I also thought that maybe the Klingon's going to be gay. And by the way, this doesn't preclude that. But, he's not a warrior. He's different. And he's got the eyebrow ring and wears a skirt sometimes. It's kind of weird, right? And that's kind of in the pipeline too. Then, of course, we're like, well, this is what lesbians look like in real life, right? And so you thought maybe the female jem'hadar here is going to be the one who turns lesbian. So if you thought this, and this is what the gayness is going to be in Starfleet Academy, well, you were 2/3 right, and you called it right away. I didn't expect them to be in a relationship, and the reason why is you just don't see it, right? And I guess they are, and I guess that's a new stunning and brave part of it. Please clap, everybody. And pretty funny. I commented over on X saying that it's really funny that they presented the two ugliest women in the show and then made them in a lesbian relationship together. Like, you can't make this stuff up, right? They used to try to, like in Picard, for instance, they tried to like glamorize it, right? 7 of 9's hot and she's a lesbian, right? Not anymore. Now it's this. Elon Musk actually liked my tweet, which was kind of cool. So thanks, Elon, for that. And this is the absolute state of Starfleet Academy. So let's get into what the interview says. This is where it goes, and I'm not just overreacting. I'm not just saying it's woke. Remember, these actors like Gina Yashere has gone out and advertised saying this is woke, and that's a good thing. Robert Picardo's been going out there, the doctor, saying Star Trek was always woke, and this is going to continue that tradition, right? They're arguing that if you don't love woke, you're a part of it. It's not that it's not woke or that woke's not a problem or anything like that. These people are actively trying to push this, and this has been Kurtzman's agenda the entire time. I've been told from insiders he is extremely Trump deranged. This is his act of rebellion against the Skydance merger and Paramount Plus, of course, then causing Strange New Worlds to actually dial back any of this stuff in it. So he pushed as hard as possible, and he's in big trouble for doing so, from what I hear as well. We'll have more on that as it develops. But this is the interview. Notaro says, because I was single through Discovery, it's been really interesting to incorporate a relationship because we are romantically involved on a show. I was talking to Gina about this, that I didn't think our dynamic made sense at first because I thought I would be the more dominant personality in the relationship. So, she's saying I'm a more butch lesbian than you are. Oh my gosh, this is so cringe. And so, yes, they are confirmed lesbians now. And that's it. She continued, honestly, when I watched it with my real wife, this is a lesbian in real life, and she was like, I love this dynamic. Because my wife's feeling is to make a relationship work, one person needs to be a little scared of the other one. Wait, what? This is really weird. Now, if you don't know, most LGBT relationships and the like actually do stem from abuse. It's actually kind of sad. And actually, most lesbian relationships do have physical abuse involved in it. So this is something that is kind of a red flag right here. You have to be a little scared of the other person to make a relationship work. I don't know that that's the case, and that's not the case with my wife and I, but we have a normal relationship, and so that's the case there. But this is really weird. Kind of mask-off moment here. That wokeism is cancer. It really is. And so it's fun. being scared is fun. It doesn't make any sense. I got to stop trying to make sense of what these people say. It's all just off the rails nut job nonsense. It's a fun new chapter to be in a romantic relationship, especially with this person, this being that yells at everyone. That's not my idea of fun, but okay. Gina Yashere followed up, confirming the relationship. She says, so when they told me that Tig was going to be in the show and we were going to be in a relationship, I was like, my God, this is going to be fun and hilarious. I get to play the opposite of one of my favorite comics and we get to act together. It was like, this is brilliant. I had no idea what it was going to be. I knew it was going to be weird for her having to be in a relationship with a scaly blue thing. Now, again, let's go back to the wokeism and just what this, and just break this down. They didn't see the script. They don't know what the plot lines are going to be. They don't know whether the plot's good or not. But it's brilliant. And it's brilliant just because they made a lesbian relationship. All they care about is identity. This is it. Brilliance is putting lesbians into things. Brilliance is putting a disabled person on the bridge of a starship. And yes, they've got a person in a wheelchair also in this. It's like they've done every single woke trope, at least in the background of things so far. Of course, there's no white male cadets, if you haven't noticed that. Zero. And so this is all intentional. And it's all pasting across this. And it's about to get very overt within the storytelling itself is what's coming down the pipeline, is what they're promising here, right? It's really ugly. So then Notaro says she doesn't like a blue jem'hadar hybrid in real life. She says that's not really my speed. I'll be honest. Yeah, I mean that's not really anybody's speed. I think. Is there anybody? If you're in the, I won't shame you in the comments. Do you find the jem'hadar attractive? Is that your? Maybe I don't want to know. Okay, all right. Crazy stuff. So as this, they describe this, despite it being comedic and whatever, as very serious. And she says, I feel like those subtle moments, how we look at each other, how we're dealing with that, is serious. You wouldn't be looking at each other or acting that way if there wasn't something more going on. And showrunner Alex Kurtzman commented on the relationship, saying he has two of the funniest people in the world in the cast. And I think, yeah, this is a funny scenario. It's I'm laughing my ass off, but I'm laughing at you guys at Star Trek, not with you guys. Crazy stuff. So this is where we're at today. It's been confirmed that this is going woker than woke. I'm not shocked, to be honest, but wow, they're dropping that shoe pretty fast. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this, guys. And like I said, I'm going to be doing this better. I'm just going to show them how to do it very, very soon. And like I said, I'm about 20% done writing it right now. Sign up for my newsletter. Don't miss it in the description below. I'm going to be working, not sleeping, figuring this out until I get it done, because I want to prove it to Robert Picardo. One, that yes, I can do it better than these people. Number two, that they're not going to support it when I do it, because, you know, it's not about creating art or whatever with these people. It's just about identity, which is what they've said all along. And I like to prove them wrong on that. I think it's important to show that they're not diverse and inclusive. They don't actually support other people's ideas or anything like that. They just want control, and they want everybody to be a weird black disabled lesbian whatever in space, and that's their vision of utopia. It really is. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. Sign up for the newsletter. We'll be back soon.